Good afternoon and welcome to the Noble Capital Markets Virtual Equity Conference. I am Joe Gomes, Managing Director and Senior Analyst at Noble Capital. Today I have the pleasure of introducing SKYX Platforms. Following the presentation, we'll have some time for Q&A. With us today from the company is Len Sokolow, Chief Executive Officer. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the company. The floor is yours, Len.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate it. And I know we're tight on time here, so I'm going to play I apologize for those who know more about SKYX. Hopefully a lot of you, but for those who don't, I'm going to do a 4-minute video and do an overview and with a goal of leaving some time for Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video, share my screen.
SKYX Platforms. SKYX. The future is here. Advancing, simplifying, while saving time, cost, and lives. SKYX's technologies won 7 CES awards and has nearly 100 US and global patents and patent applications. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb that for many years was installed by twisting hazardous wires until inventing the Edison base that became the global standard in every home and building for billions of light bulbs. Billions of fixtures are installed annually while touching hazardous, dangerous wires and risking lives. SKYX has a goal to follow Edison's path to become a US and global standard in homes and buildings for billions of fixtures, including smart home, AI, lighting, and fans, to become plug-and-play, advancing their performance, making homes become safer and smart within seconds, while saving time, cost, and lives. Our Gen 3 Sky all-in-one smart home platform enhances your all-around lifestyle, making your home become smart and safe instantly. It includes the most advanced, smart, and safe features that are necessary for every home. The SKYX all-in-one platform is fully integrated with an AI ecosystem. The Sky platform installed safely and simply within minutes to the top center of your ceiling, blending inconspicuously with your decor. The Sky platform is integrated with a backup power failure LED light. In the center of the Sky platform is embedded the Sky outlet, as approved by the National Electric Code. Sky plug lighting, fans, and accessories can connect with the click of a button to the Sky platform. A series of Sky platforms installed in a home could repeat Wi-Fi signal and play the same music throughout the house. In the event of a fire, the integrated smoke and CO2 sensor would make an alarming sound. The Sky Home app can easily control light intensity, motion detector, light color control, temperature and humidity monitoring, room-to-room intercom, control volume and music in each room. SKYX Platforms.
SKYX showcases its advanced, safe, and fast install lighting technologies in a Spring Hill Suites Marriott hotel renovation. First-time installation into a standard electrical outlet box takes a minute. In hospitality renovations, every second counts. With SKYX, replacing or installing light fixtures takes just seconds, making it safe, easy, and cost-efficient. Traditional installation of lighting and exit signs takes a lengthy amount of time. Now, with SKYX's technology, an entire room takes only minutes to install. SKYX's installation system reduces significant time and cost while enhancing the safety of the hotel, its employees, and guests. SKYX delivers fast, professional results for hotels and buildings, simplifying renovations, enhancing safety, while reducing costs and time. Design meets function, mirrors with backlighting, installed in seconds with SKYX. SkyPlug transforms maintenance. No wires, no delays. Simply plug, click, and you're done. SKYX. Innovation, speed, safety. The future of hospitality starts here, saving time, cutting costs, while maximizing safety and efficiency. SKYX's technology is approved by UL, NFPA, NEC, and by ANSI, NEMA.
I wanted to play this as an example of one of our products, one of many that's able to leverage on the receptacle, which becomes a universal application. So anything that plugs into it, be invented now or in the future, those are things that's within our patent. So this is one of our products we've launched and started to sell this year.
Introducing the Sky Fan and Turbo Heater, a breakthrough in home comfort. 3-in-1 comfort: fan, heater, light. Good for all seasons. A powerful ceramic heater for cozy winters. A high-performance fan for cool, breezy summers. A soft LED light to set the perfect mood anytime. Installs simply in minutes with the Sky Plug system. No wires, no mess. The Sky Heater Fandelier, the only ceiling fixture you'll ever need. Sky Fan and Turbo Heater.
So what I'll do is just give you some highlights, and then we could go to Q&A. So we've reported through Q1 of this year 9 consecutive comparable year-over-year increases, with the most recent one being 10%. We have about, as of Q1, 32 million in cash and cash equivalents, and we believe enough cash to achieve our goals of becoming cash flow positive as we exit 26. Comparable quarters, we've shown continued gross profit growth and gross margin growth. We've announced through the Q1 strategic partnership that we've entered into with the European Hotel Group, OTT, and they have developed over 250 hotels and buildings across Europe. We've announced that they become also another agreement, our agent, to represent us to go to other hotels and buildings on a non-exclusive basis for a commission. And we've announced the third initiative, their first hotel in France that's being renovated. And as you'll see, the reason why builders and hoteliers want to use our product is that we save them 90% of the time and 90% of the money installing the fixtures, which is material. And this is why we're getting continue to get greater adoption. We have projects that we've already announced in Pittsburgh, New York, North Carolina, smart home community near the Microsoft Megapark, San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas. And last year we announced a $4 billion smart city in South Florida, just north. I'll show you a picture of downtown Miami. We have a collaboration with a group that supplies to hotels that are working on projects and residential in Saudi Arabia and Egypt. And of course, Europe with a group OTT, Group OT. Again, 90% of the time and 90% of the money that we save the builders. This is why they're using it. And I'll give you the regulatory drivers that we have. So based on the projects we have in hand, we're looking at about 1 million units of our products. We think by year end, we'll have about 100,000 of our units in homes in the US. And the all-in-one ceiling fans, all-season ceiling fan, which is a whole new category because of our technology and global patents, is that we're starting to see a good trend line that's not typical of regular fans. We announced the collaboration with NVIDIA as part of their AI ecosystem Connect program. Our generation 3 that you saw has AI embedded. And we're not just a cell phone using an NVIDIA chip or AI. We are a platform. So we could collaborate, we could link, we have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth with any other vertical like elder care, assisted living, smart homes, safe homes, etc. So it's a broader opportunity for us and for NVIDIA for being inside the home, and as well as collecting a lot of data, which is a huge opportunity for us. And so besides the data, we think post-product sales, the data revenues, of course, but the AI services, monitoring subscriptions, we have a smoke and fire alarm that will alert you on the app that we have. And of course, if you pay, we'll call the fire department or the police. So we've got an impressive team, which I could always go into detail more. Our founder, Ronnie, is the entrepreneur and inventor and responsible for 100 patents pending, 45 granted. Steve Schmidt, former CEO of Nielsen Data. You can understand the data opportunity in Office Depot International. A very active advisor. These are all active. It's not like relationship driven. These are very on the ground active advisors. Bob Nardelli, former CEO of Home Depot, Chrysler, G Power Systems, got us into Home Depot. We're in Home Depot, Target, Lowe's, Wayfair, to name a few. Al Weiss, former president with Disney Worldwide Parks, cruise ships, hotels worldwide, and again, he understands the value of our products for that industry. Governor Tom Ridge is a lead director. I've been on the board with him for over 10 years. Two-time governor of Pennsylvania, first Homeland Security head. Lance Shaner, that was his hotel, and that's in College Park, Pennsylvania, that we did a demo for. He's been an active investor with us. He led our last private equity round, and so he's also working with us with respect to Marriott. He owns 60 Marriotts and about 20 Hiltons. The most important, least known guy is Mark Early, former head of the National Electrical Code and chief engineer of the National Fire Protection Association, which is the umbrella organization. After 33 years, he retired. 3 months later, he's joined us, and he signed our application to become mandatory. I'll explain that quickly. And Eric Jacobson, the co-head, he signed the application with Mark Early, former CEO and president of the American Lighting Association. Khadija Mustafa, former head of global AI for Microsoft, believes our Generation 3 represents the only platform and hub for a home or a room that exists for AI, for chip efficiency and performance and data aggregation. The best location. It's not a doorbell. It's not a thermostat. It's not a smart TV. We have to being where we are in the center of the room is ideal for performance and for data. Our TAM is huge. If you count just 140 million homes in the U.S., there's about 30 plus receptacles, installations in a home. So you can do the math. And not only will we expect product sales, but royalties, licensing, subscriptions, as well as, of course, data aggregation, and that we mentioned. The trend lines are positive, and we really haven't yet started to penetrate with our core product and technology. We own 60 e-commerce sites, so our business is B2C as well as B2B now. The B2B being the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's, and also to the builders and developers and the hoteliers. So 2486 plus and 2592, and we expect to continue our growth trends. And more of an inflection year in 26 towards the third and fourth quarter as our core products have more of an impact. This is the Smart City Miami. It's a $4 billion project. It was announced at the end of last year. Downtown Miami, Wynwood, and then there's South Beach in the foreground, 63 acres, 2 major developers. They're both billionaires, been building in Miami for multiple decades. One of them has been an investor in SKYX pre-IPO, and we're the component to make this, and for them to get this 63-acre, 200-year land lease from the city of Miami. It's done. They broke ground. It's been bonded, et cetera. And it'll have an additional tri-rail station there, as well as mixed use, 5,700 condos and apartments. And it's Architectonica is a world-renowned architecture firm doing the design. They claim to fame was about 20 years ago when they designed the Microsoft building in Paris. They're a South Florida-based firm. And some examples of what we announced in Austin, San Antonio, North Carolina, and this is a picture of the hotel that were started in France. It's a renovation, and they're adding additional rooms. It's a UN Heritage Site, protected hotel, and this is from a group bot. This is more detail on our projects. Generation 1 and 2 you saw in the video, as well as 3. Our app has been out there for several years working with our Generation 2. We started to sell retrofit kits, where you can buy a regular fixture on our websites and you can make a plug and play, or smart plug and play. And now we're landing product that's already got the plug installed in the back. So you take it out of the box and it's click, click. So the installation really takes minutes. Once this razor, we call it, our receptacle, is installed, you're never touching wires again. It's like, when was the last time you changed your wall outlet? And by the way, there's about 5 times more installations like this, junction boxes in a home or building than outlets. So hopefully you'll start counting and seeing the huge market. But our goal is for this to be the razor and installed in new construction. And anytime a fixture is plugged in, it'll either be a product we'll have made or we'll have licensed. We have patents on both sides. So unlike the guys that invented the wall outlet or the GFCI outlet, they only had the patents on the receptacle. We have patents on both sides, global patents, and a third of our patents have to do with anything that's smart that touches either side. Anything that's a sensor. We basically, with all-in-one platform, Generation 3, we knocked off the Apple phone concept. All these separate devices now on one device with all these apps. No magic here. And it just makes it easy. And this is solving the problem of why there's 97% of the homes in the US and 99% globally are not smart. Is it to do this could take days for one bedroom to have all your gadgets installed and synchronized and working. And here you've got 3 minutes. You click this into the receptacle and the app, and you're working. And you can still put a fixture in the middle in a Sky plug. So this is a game changer, and this is why it makes so much sense, why the builders like it, why the hoteliers like it, and the smart city, it'll be impactful. And and of course we have a great speaker in there that we developed with Harman Kardon, JBL, and some European engineers. This is what it does. It is a platform. And this is what Khadija Mustafa is saying about the location. Just an example, just with Wi-Fi and a Wi-Fi extenders. Everyone has them here on the side wall where the power is. And by the time it gets to the other side of the room, it's pretty worthless or choppy. And so having a Wi-Fi extender or repeater, which we will have in our Generation 3, and Bluetooth, you're enhancing the range and the speed of anything that's wireless 2 to 3 times being in this location. And if you have to utilize a chip or a sensor chip, and there's a lot of stuff in development by other verticals for determine not a camera, but determine if it's a 2-legged person, 4-legged animal, someone's on the floor, all kinds of things that's going to be in the horizon here. So the post-revenue sales of data, AI services, subscriptions I mentioned, and again, the magic is 1 bedroom could take you a few minutes, the house a couple hours, and then a building a few days, not a year, to make it smart and integrate. And you could name each room, you could name each floor, you could room-to-room intercom. It's quite impressive. We did a demo with a prefabricated home company, Cavco, at an international builder show a few years ago, installing our receptacles in a factory and then shipping the module or the modular home out to a site for staging and assembly. You're not having any fixtures. You could, when you're ready and everything's clean and not dusty, you could click or plug anything in you want. It makes so much sense. Imagine these being little Teslas coming off an assembly line that has this opportunity to be smart and also collect data. So this is the key. This is our FDA side. So the builders and developers have done this because it makes everything easy, and they save 90% of the time and 90% of the money. So all those projects, all the hotels, all that momentum is because it's time and money that they've adopted it. And it's in the code book. And because of the code approvals we have, they could get their certificate of occupancy or permit. And I'll explain to you the approvals we have. And it's all about safety in the US and of course globally. That things were put in like an old refrigerator by wires, and then until they invented the receptacle in the early 1900s, the Edison bulb you saw in the 1980s, the GFCI reset button became mandatory. In 1991, you had to put this at the end of hair dryers or other devices that were used in the bathrooms became mandatory because people were dying, getting hurt, fires, injuries, property damage, of course. And then, we come along, SKYX, and we solve this problem that's been in existence forever, a junction box with 3 wires and all this twisting and danger involved. And we come up with a plug and play installation. Again, the junction box holds 50 pounds. We hold 200 pounds twice. We have a double ball bearing locking mechanism. So it's if it falls, it's not going to be because of us. And we've tested it for even more than 400 pounds. Exit signs, this is what the regulators worry about, airbags and seatbelts. So this was the problem that exists globally, and this is the solution that we came up with. And again, our receptacle patents on both sides, we own the smart on both sides, et cetera, global patents. So this is the FDA part, I call it. We've already received, and you could AI this, 10 approvals in the building code that we have segments in the code over the past 13 years. This is not overnight, and it's taken a long time, and we've achieved this. And so we've also been approved by ANSI and NEMA, which most people don't know, but for buildings and hospitals, et cetera, this is a standard for anything that goes in those buildings, like rebar and concrete. We have ANSI approval almost 30 years ago, which is very rare. And as a result of these changes, after 120 years, an historic event was that they changed the definition of receptacle to include not only this wall outlet from the early 1900s, but our receptacle. It's codified. You can verify this. And we've also been given a generic name already in the code book, WSCR, weight support ceiling receptacle, just like they gave it GFCI. The guys that had this actually still collect patents. They're not going to call this SKYX. This is the generic name in the code book, done. The last step is mandatory, and we've applied for it. And the reason why they did this is not because they love us, which they likely do, but because they had to. The National Electrical Code and the NFPA have to, if there's any death as a result of electricity hazard in the home building, it has to be addressed if it's foreseeable. And so their own data through 2019 was over 400 deaths. We know it's over 500 from people twisting wires wrong in the ceiling, and the device could work for a few years, and then it could arc and spark, smoke, and fire. Even worse is ladder falls. So people getting up ladders, juggling fans and fixtures, trying to install and twist. And that's over 500,000 falls a year and thousands of deaths. And of course, the amount of injuries, electric shock, et cetera. And our device works 110, 220, therefore, in Europe, as we already discussed. So this is why we've done everything that we need to do, and we've applied for mandatory, which means that any new construction or any permit, they need to have the receptacle in there, just like the GFCI for kitchens. Some old apartment buildings, the condos from 1980, may not have the GFCI because it wasn't mandated then. But anything that's new, anything that's a new permit would have to have our product in there. And when that happens, we're required to license our product, our plug and play, on a non-discriminatory basis for a fair royalty, which is great. And we know that once this is installed, we'll either get a license from someone who had to license this for their product or fixture, or it'll be a product that we'll have sourced and sold. So I say all roads lead back to Rome. When it becomes mandatory in the US, about 20 to 30 other countries pick us up on a mandatory basis. And this was the equivalency of concept when we went to the regulators. And we have I would say a very focused product line. And this is the all-in-one fan that we started to launch beginning of this year. And on our sales channel of lead and seed and online sales and big box, et cetera, this has all happened, and we're executing all these. And most important, before we become mandatory, we just announced, it's not in the deck, a licensing agreement, our first one with Europhase, which is a large retail and commercial lighting and heater manufacturer, to license our plug and play technology, 5-year agreement for a really fair royalty. And we are excited because this is before it's mandatory. So why are they licensing it from us? They're seeing that we're able to penetrate into the builders and hoteliers. They know that they're saving those people are saving 90% of the time and money, and they want to be part of it. And we've licensed it, and we believe even before it's mandatory and that we have to license, we're going to be signing licensing agreements. So it's really important. It's an important nuance. So Joe, I think I'm trying to leave a little time for a question or two.
Thanks, Len. Great presentation. Let's go to some questions. So the mandatory status, it's something you guys have been chasing for a while. Where do we stand today? As you look out, how soon do you think, what's the timeline, I guess, for getting that mandatory status?
Well, look, the National Electrical Code has already given us 10 code provisions, and these are done by committees of industry players. That's how it works. We've checked all the boxes. We're pushing very hard, with them on, trying to get a resolution and a vote, to start to launch the mandatory this year. But there's no guarantee. We don't know. We can't control this. What we have determined, and we've announced that we work with a very high-level consultant, a lawyer, internationally well-known, works closely with the current administration and president, determined that besides the National Electrical Code and the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association, we could go to and are going to the CPSC, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, or the CDC, Center for Disease Control, that has a division for ladder falls. People are dying every day. This is unconscionable that they're not moving towards mandatory. So that's our argument. We can't say we're optimistic that we'll get some movement this year, but there's no guarantee. So this is a major change. And by the way, once it's approved, once it's mandatory, 20 to 30 other countries automatically start to pick it up as mandatory in their electrical codes. But again, we're already licensed this already once, and we have the whole regulatory package that when we go to Europe or to Saudi Arabia or Egypt with the high-level people, we can also get them to have regulatory support and maybe codify it in those countries for them. So we think we have a good pathway. So hopefully I answered that as best I could.
Perfect. So if someone had an existing house and they were looking to retrofit, what is kind of the cost to retrofit on the receptacles, and then how does the cost of the lighting fixtures compare to the cost of a standard lighting fixture from today?
It's really the same. And for the builders, it's no more. When we're going to the builder and offering them a lighting package for standard, not smart, because smart will be more expensive, but the standard, it'll be no more than what they're paying now. The receptacle, you could put it up within a minute. And two, three wires and the bracket and screw it in and put the plate on. You'll never touch those wires again. And so the products are coming landed already. You won't see any price differential really with the plug in the back. And they come out with a plug in the back and you just click them in. And so, I think it's an easy process. I don't believe half the Home Depot has taught us that half of the installations are DIY, do-it-yourselfers. The other 30% more are maintenance people and painters, and maybe 15% are electricians actually. But if you ever put a fan in, whether yourself or a electrician, that's an hour plus project. With us, it's receptacle in the wall. We'll go up the ladder and then, click, click, and the fan's installed. It's really a game changer. You got to go to Instagram or TikTok. We got a lot of examples of women doing this, and also fixtures. And we have a Christmas tree that clicks in for seasonal things, and they could click out their fixture and click in the Christmas tree, and it lights up. And so small one, but it's it changes the world.
Well, great. Well, Len, we've come to the end of our allotted time. We covered a lot of ground today. It was a great presentation, got significant insight into what SKYX does, its markets and opportunities. We appreciate you taking the time to participate in our conference, and we wish you and the company the best in the future. Thanks again.
Thank you. And always available for questions later or follow-up Zooms. So thank you very much.